I can't believe the Washington Commanders actually did it. Jaden Daniels is announced as Washington's quarterback one on the first unofficial depth chart, and also Emmanuel Forbes is listed as a reserves. Let's talk about it.
I feel blessed. What I want.
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she fly for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders' first unofficial but official depth chart. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to this house cleaning before we get to the video. All right, so first things first, I do want to give a huge shout out to my man Protect Sports. He's almost at 3,000 subscribers. He's about 40 away. So if you guys can help my man's reach 3K, that'll be greatly appreciated. His channel link is down below in the description. Secondly, I will be uploading Washington Commanders videos daily like I've been doing for the past 5 years, but now I'm adding another double upload where I'm going to be trying to upload college football 25 gameplay because I want my channel to grow big and I want to see if I can do that in the gaming space. So again, Washington Commanders videos aren't going anywhere. We're just adding double uploads to it. All right, so if y'all interested, stick around for that. Videos coming out very soon. Okay, let's get to it. First unofficial depth chart came out, but it is official. And I first want to start by saying this. Don't let them try to tell you, oh, this doesn't mean anything. This is just preseason roster. This doesn't have nothing to do with what's going to look like come week 1 versus Tampa. You know what I got to say to that? Yeah, right. You really expect me to believe that? Now, again, I do not want to continue to harp on Emmanuel Forbes because a lot of y'all believe I hate that man guts, and that is not the case. I just don't think he is good, and I want him to be good. That's the thing. He's on my favorite team. I want him to be good, and I am hoping he's good. But you're telling me him being listed as a reservist doesn't mean nothing? Okay, right. But Jaden Daniels is QB1. Right, he's QB1, and a lot of fans and a lot of us are excited about that, and we believe that's to be the case because obviously he's the number 2 overall pick, and we believe he's the franchise quarterback, so obviously he's going to be a starter. But you expect us to not pay attention to Emmanuel Forbes being a reservist? Nah, that's false. He is listed where they believe he should be right now, and I'm just preparing you for how they may try to persuade you into thinking Emmanuel Forbes, oh no, it's nothing wrong with him, he's good. You know what I'm saying? We just feel like that's where he should be, or that's what it is at the preseason roster. Don't pay too much attention to it. Nah, this roster definitely has some truth to it. So let's go ahead and waste no more time and look over this roster. So go ahead and pay attention to the screen. Sorry about that. All right, so first things first, you look at the offense. You got Terry McLaurin, you got Dyami Brown, Bryson Tremaine, and Davion Davis. Now, first things first, when I look at that part of the wide receiving core, right? I see Dyami Brown. As we heard, a lot of people believe Dyami Brown is having a strong camp and has a real stranglehold on that third wide receiver spot. And one thing I've always said about Dyami is he's always practiced and trained well, but it just never translates to the game, and that's where you make your money. So maybe this is the year in his final year of his contract where he plays really well and he can finally arrive. Bryson Tremaine's another name that I talked about a couple days ago when I was talking about potential guys to make this roster. Him, Mike Mitchell, Tinsley, stuff like that. I talked about him and in a specific way because he's a big body receiver, and we don't really have that many big body receivers. He's like 6'3", 6'4", so it's really good to see Bryson Tremaine up here. Davion Davis, he's a name that's been talked about a lot during camp too. Then you go to left tackle. Here is one of the shockers, but also one that confirms a lot of our questions. Brandon Coleman is the left tackle of the future. He is the number one left tackle on this roster. Now, the reason why I say he's the left tackle of the future is because they believe that. I'm not going to believe it until I see it, but I love to hear that he's having a strong camp. And based off of their moves, or lack thereof, I should say, that should tell you how they believe in Brandon Coleman. So I'm excited. I really think we may hit the head on, hit the nail on the head with this one. They believe in him. So why am I not going to, right? But I just want to see it first. Then you got Cole Luke backing him up. Cole Luke, honestly, may start at right tackle too, depending on if Andrew Wiley's not healthy or not. But, Cole Luke is always going to make this roster. He's going to be a swing tackle nonetheless. Alex King Blues made the third spot, and he did get carted off, so I'm not really sure what's up with him and what he's looking like, but he is on here. Nick Algreedy, Chris Paul, Mason Brooks for left guard. Nothing too surprising there. See if Chris Paul could take another leap this year. Mason Brooks is a name that's been around for a while too. So then you go to center. You got Tyler Biadasz, Michael Densler, and Ricky Stromberg is your third center. Now, Ricky Stromberg is interesting. As we know, last year he's a guy that could play center and guard. But it seems like we've done enough at guard that they feel comfortable with just focusing on trying to get him to be center. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to keep 3 centers or if we're going to maybe have Ricky Stromberg kind of switch over to guard, because you can swap out Ricky Stromberg and Mason Brooks. He doesn't necessarily have to make this roster. Or Julian Good-Jones, same here. But actually, now that I look at it, he's right here. Ricky Stromberg is the third right guard too, so they actually did do that. Okay, makes sense. Then you go to right guard, Sam Cosmi, best offensive lineman on this line right here. He's a dog. He's really good. He's one of the guys that I want to pay. Julian Good-Jones, and then Ricky Stromberg for right guard. Right tackle, mentioned it already, Andrew Wiley, Trenton Scott, Braden Daniels, and David N. Andrew Wiley, again, is dealing with some tightness, but again, I think he's going to obviously start. That's why I'm telling you guys, like, don't try to let them fool you into thinking, like, this is not a official depth chart. This is what week 1 could potentially look like. Like, man, time. This is like a real roster. Quarterback, or then you go down to tight ends. You got Zach Ertz, John Bates, Ben Sinnott / Amani Rogers, and then Cole Turner, and then Colson Yankov. So, that is interesting, because you guys know I'm a huge Cole Turner fan, and him being that far down kind of gives me like a vibe that they don't necessarily believe in him to make this roster, and he's most likely going to be a practice squad guy. John Bates, second tight end here. John Bates, JB, has been around for a while, and he's really a blocking tight end and a possession tight end. But maybe in this new scheme, and maybe working with Zach Ertz, just maybe, John Bates could take a leap. And then Ben Sinnott being number 3, I think that just has a lot to do to him being a rookie, him still having a lot to learn. I don't expect this to be any different, but I do believe that these are your 3 tight ends right here on the active roster. Then you go down to the wide receiver, the next wide receiver list, and I'm just gonna go out there and say Lamade Zaccheaus, Luke McCaffrey, Casimir Allen, and Byron Pringle. I don't know if Byron Pringle is gonna make this roster. Casimir Allen, his biggest way of making this roster, again, is special teams, as we know. And then Luke McCaffrey is a young rookie that we have high hopes for. And Lamade Zaccheaus is a free agent acquisition that we think can come in and provide a spark for this wide receiver room. Then you go down to the next wide receiver room. Jahan Dotson, Jamison Crowder, Mitchell Tinsley, and Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint. Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint is a name that was very, very talked about, and Dan Quinn loved him in minicamp. Haven't really heard much of him this training camp, so I'm not really sure if maybe I'm just missing him or maybe he isn't really doing much. But we'll see. Then quarterback position, the biggest news. Jaden Daniels is quarterback 1. Marcus Mariota, Jeff Driscoll, and Sam Hartman. And Sam Hartman being behind Jeff Driscoll kind of says a lot to me. Again, he's a rookie. I get it. But, that is honestly how they probably view him. And Sam Hartman most likely will end up playing in the UFL because he's already signed a contract with, or has been drafted in the UFL. And if he doesn't make this roster, he already said that he's going to go to the UFL. And I think if you put in a veteran like Jeff Driscoll, who really isn't, nothing special ahead of him, I think that's really how they view Sam Hartman. Then you go to the running back room, Brian Robinson, Chris Rodriguez, Michael Wiley, Austin Eckler, and Jeremy McNicholson, and Austin Jones. Now, I don't think none of these guys right here, Michael Wiley, Jeremy McNicholson, or McNichols rather, and Austin Jones are making this roster. I think they're going to keep 3 running backs, and that is Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and Chris Rodriguez. And then you go down to the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, nothing looks surprising. I'm telling you, if we compare this roster to the official roster once the 53-man roster is announced, I am telling you it's going to look early similar for this side of the ball. I'm telling you. Now, let's go ahead to the defense, right? You got Cleveland Ferrell, who Louis T. He spoke on this. He said it himself in his video that he continues to hear guys like Jonathan Allen talk about Cleveland Ferrell and bringing him up unprovokedly. Cleveland Ferrell's a starter. Cleveland Ferrell is a starter. Then behind him, you have KJ Henry, Jalen Hurst, and F.A. Obata. F.A. Obata is still on the physically unable to perform list. That is why the parentheses is around his name. But KJ Henry is a name that maybe could make this roster. Probably going to be practice squad, maybe. But Cleveland Ferrell being the starter here is very interesting. Maybe he can revive his career in Washington. Then Deron Payne, starting D tackle, John Ridgway behind him, Phil Math, and Norrell Pollard. So Phil Math being the 3rd defensive tackle behind John Ridgway. I think this is how they genuinely see this. I think they believe it's Deron Payne, John Allen, Jerzon Newton, and then John Ridgway, then Fedarian Mathis. And Benny Potea is still around. Hagel Chisholm is here, and Taylor Stallworth. And I don't think none of these guys right here is making your roster. I think your starters or your D tackle room is Deron Payne, John Ridgway, Fedarian Mathis, Jonathan Allen, and Jerzon Newton. Then you go to the other defensive end position. You have Dorrance Armstrong, Javante Jean-Baptiste, and Andre Jones Jr. Now, Andre Jones Jr. is a name that is very, very interesting because he is somebody that we thought was going to be really good for us last year as far as a development tool, and maybe this is the year that he gets out there and shows something, because in the preseason last year he was really good for us, and we were excited about his potential, and we'll see if that continues this preseason. Then you go to outside linebacker Dante Fowler Jr., Jamin Davis, Kendra Jones. And we know, I wonder if Jamin Davis is listed as an outside linebacker, but he's going to be spending a lot of time as an edge rusher maybe. So we'll see. But, again, Dante Fowler making a roster. Jamin Davis making a roster. Kendra Jones, I'm not really sure. Bobby Wagner, middle linebacker. Jordan McGee and Bo Bauer is also your middle linebackers. And Bobby Wagner is making this roster. Jordan McGee is making this roster. And then your other outside linebacker, Frankie Louisville, Anthony Pittman, and Michael Walker. Anthony Pittman, Frankie Louisville making this roster, in my opinion. Then you go down to the cornerbacks, right? Cornerbacks. Your first cornerback off the list is already your rookie, Mike Sammerstill. Then you got Noah Igbenehi. I'm sorry, I butchered the crap out of your name. Caillou Blue Kelly. And then you go down to Benjamin St. Juste, Manuel Forbes, Chiggy Anusium, and then Michael Davis, Tariq Castro Fields, James Pierre, and Nick Whiteside II. So, talking quickly about the cornerback room, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Dan Quinn came out himself and said that Emmanuel Forbes is listed as a reserve/backup as for right now. And I'm telling you guys, I want Emmanuel Forbes to be really good, but to bring home my point that I genuinely think this is how they view this team, Emmanuel Forbes is a backup. Then you go down to the safety position. Jeremy Chin, Derek Force, Dominique Hampton, Ben Nickel, Quan Martin, Jeremy Reeves, Percy Butler, and Tyler Owens. Now, this is a really, really interesting position group because Jeremy Chin, obviously, one of the free agent signings. Quan Martin, the guy that we think is going to have a second-year lead. Derek Force hasn't really been healthy, but we're hoping he can get back to his old self. Dominique Hampton, young rookie that we just drafted, we're hoping that he could maybe provide something. Percy Butler's a name that I've been hearing that they don't think is going to make this roster. Certain content creators don't think he's going to make this roster. Tyler Owens is a guy that's been killing it in training camp. So it's a very interesting group, and I think big preseasons are going to have to be made by Percy Butler and Tyler Owens and Dominique Hampton to really prove to this unit and this team and this coaching staff that they're worthy of a roster spot. Because I already know Jeremy Chan's making this roster. You already know Quan Martin is making this roster. You already know Derek Forrest and Jeremy Reeves are making this roster. So it's about who's gonna have that. Who's gonna be the last one? Is it gonna be Percy Butler? Is it gonna be Tyler Owens? Is it gonna be Dominique Hampton? And then you go down to your specialists. Tressway, obviously, GOAT. Ramiz Ahmad is right now the first kicker. Riley Patterson is the second kicker. And then your long snapper is Tyler Ott. And then your holder, Tressway. Your kick returner right now is listed as Noah Igga. I'm going to just call him Igga. Noah Ig. I'm going to call him that. Is your starting kick returner. And Casimir Allen. And then your starting punt returner is Jamison Crowder. And your second punt returner is Jahan Dotson. So let's go ahead and pull my beautiful face back up here. How y'all doing? That is the roster, and a lot is interesting, but a lot of it, in my opinion, is a reflection of how they believe this roster should be come week 1 at Tampa. One thing I will say, though, that is interesting that I just want to talk about quickly is the punt return. Jamison Crowder is listed up there. John Dotson's listed up there. But where is guys that we've been hearing about all camp long catching punts? They're not up here. Demir Bird, Casimir Allen as a punt returner. Maybe they just view him as a kick returner because he is up here as a kick returner. And others. Like, there's been guys that we thought was going to have opportunity to make this roster because of their kick return ability and punt return ability. And it's just Jamison Crowder and Jahan Dotson. So let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comment section. But I do want to take a quick break and give a word to today's sponsor. Today's video and all videos moving forward is sponsored by SeatGeek. Are you going to a event coming up here soon? Well, if that's the case, SeatGeek is the place for you, as they take tickets from all across the world and put them into one interface just for you, and they rate them from green to red to let you know if you're getting a good deal or not. And right now, live, you can go ahead and get $20 off your first purchase by punching in the promo code Juan Gotti on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. I'm telling you, this is one of the best promo codes in the game today because you can save $20 and spend it on something else. And let's just say, okay, you already bought your tickets. Well, you know parking is expensive. Go ahead and use that promo code Juan Gotti to get $20 off your parking. It is going to save you. Use this promo code and strike while the iron is hot. Now enjoy the rest of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is interesting, and we're going to talk about this more and more throughout the week as we get closer and closer to Saturday, where the Washington Commanders make their preseason debut, and Jaden Daniels makes his on-field debut Saturday. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Peace.